You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Battered Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 343 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Canada, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
Walk away with a dub in Ohio? It sounds like a good Saturday.
I feel like it's a normal thing for us.
Yeah.
I feel like Ohio hates us because we own Ohio.
Yeah.
And Wilford, Nancy, and all that other stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about today because I think my biggest question mark was how Mascherano was going to approach this game, because I felt like Tata had figured out the Wilford Nancy puzzle, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like to hold possession? Don't worry. We'll sit back. We'll counter, long balls, all that other stuff. And I wasn't sure if he was going to approach it the same way. And it looks like he did. It worked. But it was a nail biting, to say the least. Your general thoughts on today's game?
I'm going to say the same thing Upcoach just said. We got lucky in the second half, especially after some really suspect substitutions.
Like I said, we communicate with some people from Columbus on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And one of them said, you guys got lucky. We should have had like 4.
Oh,
let's be very clear. If you get even one of those, this game is different, because the reason we were playing the way we were playing is because we had the lead and we were protecting.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
You don't get 4, because if you tie the game, all of a sudden we open it up offensively again and
Correct.
we put up
Yes.
another 1 or 2. So please take a step back, Ohio. Like, don't think that you could have or should have won this game 4-1, because this game plays out completely different if you manage to tie the game at some point.
That is correct. If they do score, I mean, the head turns automatically. We're back on the grind. We're not locking down like defensively.
Right.
Like,
so,
don't think just because we took out Luis Suarez in the 60th minute that we don't have guys that could score. Like, we still got scorers on the field.
Now, and I know we're gonna get into this in a second, but I guess I'll jump straight to it just real quick, because it was and everybody's putting, Thomas is putting Messi is injured. I sure hope that's not true. Even though he wasn't running much at the last 20-30 minutes of the game, he wasn't. But again, I felt like it was because we were defending with 8 or 9, and he was just waiting for the ball. But I was gonna ask you, Obando. I thought Obando might get some minutes. Are you surprised that he didn't get in there at all? I know we're going to get into it in a little bit, but it just stands out to me. Like, how does he not get on there at all?
Listen, there was a lot of substitutions that were kind of questionable, I guess, from a fan's point of view, right? Like Mascherano, like you said, he's forgotten more football than we can ever imagine, than we can ever know ourselves.
Learn.
But, I mean, just the thing is, I don't understand. There was some substitutions, like what?
And Jason, no, not watching Mania. My understanding, it starts at 7. It should start at 7. So this might not go a full hour, just because I want to watch Mania. Chris wants to watch his crappy Knicks. But we'll see, because both those things have been going on soon. Now, before we get into this, just because I like to, because like we say, we read the comments, and I wanted to shout out one person in particular, because they sent a comment that I really appreciate, and I just wanted to put it out there for everybody, because we do read all the comments and we appreciate you guys. So, oh, that's not it. I'm sorry. This is the comment right here. The fact that you guys think Vancouver fans or people in Canada aren't obsessed with Messi is ridiculous. Do you not remember what happened last season with Messi? Did not travel to Canada. Do you guys do any pre-work before you get on here and spew garbage? With every episode, you both get dumber. I try to stay hopeful. I keep giving you chances to prove me wrong, but every time I hit play, I regret it. I'm dying for the from the inadequacy of it all. Can you please block me so I'm not tempted to click on your video? FYI, your guest made you guys look like amateurs. Please do better. Miami Muma, shout out to you. I appreciate that. That was awesome.
Great
We're
comment.
amateurs. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Amateur hour over here.
It is.
So Mania, for those of you watching Mania, yeah, for sure.
I mean, we could throw in all the backdoor. What is it? Compact defense and.
Can we stop listening to negative comments? No, I live off of those.
No,
I love
those are the best.
Look,
Those are the
Messi
best.
is injured. Why is everybody saying that? See, I didn't hear about that.
I think everybody's jumping.
You guys are ruining my vibe.
I think everybody's just kind of jumping to the conclusion. Let's not do all that, Mike Hodges.
All right. So before we get into the actual pitch and the starting 11, please, atmosphere. It didn't look empty, right? There's a lot of people there, but it did have patches where it looked. No, the hard cam, right, where the camera is behind it. Whenever they would pan around the whole stadium, you see there was a lot of empty seats up in the upper deck for that side.
Oh, yeah,
smart, right?
Birds, yeah.
So it wasn't completely sold out, but it was a nice atmosphere. I haven't been able to talk to anybody who was at the game. We should have asked Tommy because Tommy was there for the first half at least. I'll text him right now real quick. But
it would have been nice. Yeah, it would have.
Well,
been
what
nice.
did you think? What did you think of the atmosphere?
Well, look, everybody's posting it. 60K. 60K, Amanda saying 60K. Antonio saying 60K. What are you talking about, amateur? This is amateur hour. This is amateur hour. You can't even count to 62,400. Yes, it looked like it was packed. It looked like there was a lot of people. Obviously, up in the rafters, the bird's eye view, you're not gonna have too many people up there. I mean, who's paying $100+ for that seat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The amateur hour, Danny.
No, it was packed, okay? But there were in the upper deck, it wasn't completely filled to the brim. There was a lot of empty seats in the upper deck.
Sapo, I have a question. Do you think that Toto Aviles was a suitable replacement?
Yes.
As a center defensive midfielder?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to get into that conversation for sure.
Okay. I mean,
yes.
That's it.
How was Suarez today? Suarez was not bad. Look, and we're going to get into the game and the way we played because obviously that dictates the way some players looked. Suarez had the beautiful lead pass to Cello that led to the assist to the Ben Hakremaki Superman goal, right? And for those of you that aren't familiar, I'll take that over the Robin Van Persie.
Very unselfish today, Suarez. Very unselfish.
And Messi had a chance to catch him, and he took the shot instead. But I thought Suarez had a chance, and I think he apologized to him afterward, threw up his hand. My fault.
Yeah,
could have gotten it to you.
Yeah, calm down, amateur guy. Let's go to starting 11. Okay.
All right.
Starting 11. We'll pop that bad boy up right here. Okay, we had Ustari, who is piece by piece just falling apart back there. Okay, and then you got.
I thought they might have to bring in Drake. Yeah.
Yes, you got the back four, which is Jordi Alba at the left back, Allen and Lujan filling in the center back roles, Weigant playing the right back position, Bright and Busquets playing the double pivot back there with Messi up ahead of them at the 10. Allende playing the right wing, Kremaski playing the left wing, and Suarez playing as a lone striker up top. Now, Redondo didn't travel this game, which is the only reason why I could say, okay, fine, bring in Toto for the CDM later, right? Mm-hmm. But whatever. Okay, he didn't travel. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I thought that I don't like Lujan, and I feel like he did. He played okay. Weigant to me played really good. He played really good considering how much hate he's been getting in the past couple weeks. I still don't get this whole, if you're going to throw Kremaki at the left wing, but no, it was Allende that started at the left wing and Kremaki was on the right. That's how they started the game.
Right, but they eventually switched.
Yes, later on they switched and Allende went to the right wing. But when they started it, Kremaki putting at the right, Allende going to the left. I feel like Allende's better at the right than the left, but they were pushing the pace in the beginning. That's one thing that I did love, which I guess we'll talk about when we talk about some of the game.
Right. Well, look, the starting 11, and I was on for the pregame with Scotty Tuhati from Drive Pink Dialogue, and we were talking about the starting 11, and I told him I would have preferred to see Fafa than Kremaki, right? But the Segovia thing, it sounds like maybe Mascherano's maybe taking notice that he's not playing great out wide. But yeah, the only thing I would have changed, I would have put Fafa instead of Kremaki. But Kremaki, the way we were playing, because I wasn't sure, and like I said, I talked about it in the pregame, I wasn't sure if we were going to take the Tata route, right, where we kind of just defend deep and then play the long ball and the counters. And when you're playing like that, Kremaki isn't a bad wing to have because he has the pace. He's physical.
He hustles down the ball.
He can press, right? So he's not a bad person. Like, this is the best he's looked out on the wing because we're not playing on our final third, right? We're not doing horizontal passes and trying to get balls in through behind. Like, we're not doing any of that. We're just playing the long ball, and I think that works well for Kremaki and Allende in this case. So I thought that he had a decent game. But outside of that, I think Lujan and Weigand were the only question marks for me. Why is it that Falcon needs all this rest? Is he nicked up? I don't know. That's a serious question. I don't know. Is he nicked up? And Frey, somebody said that he's might be nicked up also. So I guess, and I've always told you, I feel confident with having Cello out there. I think Cello is better than people give him credit for. I just prefer Frey because I think Frey is better, but I don't think Cello is in any way bad.
Look at this. I mean, we have Elizabeth saying Allende choked and DMX saying, let's talk about Allende disaster class today. I mean, he didn't have a good game, but in the beginning, you could tell that the team were trying to get it to him and push that left side.
Well, the very first ball, right? The first ball, yes. Right? Whoever it is that plays it from the center pitch, played it back to Messi, and immediately long ball. And right away, I knew, they're going to play the long ball. They're gonna try to catch them sleeping, and that went straight to Allende when he was on the left side, like you said, to start the game before they switched. Yeah. But as far as starting 11, Lujan and Weigand, only ones that I was questioning. Weigand, I'm okay with. I just prefer Frey. And then Lujan, I would have put Toto Aviles out there. I would have put Falcon. But Lujan gets to start, and he played well. But I'd rather have Toto Aviles or Falcon out there.
This could be the answer, though. Santiago's saying it looks like the team was preparing for Wednesday. They didn't play at their maximum capacity.
No, I mean, it's that this is how they play against Nancy, right? It worked for Tata, right? Tata's only lost to them once. And the one game that he did lose, they had a 2-0 lead in the 60th minute, and Tata just didn't do any subs. And in the Leagues Cup last year, and then Columbus made a comeback. But this is how they play against Nancy and Columbus, and it's Thursday, not Wednesday. Columbus loves to hold possession, and Miami allows them to. And then we just play deep, and we play the long ball in the counter, and it's worked every single time that we played against them. It worked again today. Now, a little scary, right, because we kind of were just absorbing all that pressure, and they were getting close. Gazdag, their new man, probably should have had one or two. So did Diego Rossi, Mr. supposed MVP, sailing one over the bar. But I was okay with the 11 outside of Lujan. I'm glad that Mascherano, maybe he listened to the players, right? They're like, look, this is how we beat them last year every time. Maybe we should do the same thing. And Mascherano listened because he went with the same game plan, and it worked. Yeah,
I mean, it worked. Luckily, Columbus didn't get an opportunity. I mean, not that they didn't get opportunities, but they didn't get a goal past us. So,
Danny, is this a baseball show or a football? Come on, man. Baseball sucks. It's not even a sport. It's America's pastime. For all of you that love the Open Cup, baseball is just as historic as the Open Cup.
Yeah, I mean, what?
And I was supposed to actually go to Tampa today to watch the Yankees play in Tampa. Didn't end up making it out, but I was watching the game with the kids on the tablet. And I love baseball. Sorry. All right, ready to talk about the game, Chris?
Yeah, man. It started off. Listen, can we give some kudos to the referee today? Can we?
I don't know. Columbus doesn't like the referees.
Well, I mean, she called a pretty straight and narrow game today. So that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like she did. We got a super slam.
Do you think it was a penalty kick? Should have been a penalty on Noah Allen when he kind of just ran into
no. Let them play. Let them play.
Okay.
Mr. Krabs. Shout out to Mr. Krabs. I think shout out to you says guys ain't got that dog in them, but I like that. That was good. That was a
Well
good
done.
one. He's been keeping that one locked and loaded. So yeah, look, like I mentioned in the beginning of this game and throughout the first half, I noticed that they were really pushing the pace and trying to get it ahead to the left side to Allende. Really, really trying to make sure that Columbus wasn't comfortable with bringing everybody up. Because that's the one thing that at least I noticed. I don't know if you got a different vibe. Shout out to Rick A with the super slam over here.
Bang! Bang!
So for those that progress across, Cello is your answer. Cello over Podcaster. Also Inter Miami gear over whatever else you bozos are wearing. You know, I'm wearing Inter Miami gear. I'm wearing
Yeah.
Inter Miami gear. And
I wear Inter Miami gear literally every episode.
Danny's literally wearing a jersey of one of the best, if not the best team in Major League Baseball history.
Um,
And I'm literally wearing one of the best basketball teams ever in the face of the planet.
Shout out to the Heat for making the playoffs.
Dick.
So the first half, it was obvious what Miami was doing. They were sitting deep and trying to catch them sleeping on the counter or in the transition. I'm sorry, I just saw we had another sleep super slam. But
Slam by I am Jekka. Says make a merch shirt for Sir Ustadi. He deserves it. And Ustadi, we trust Danny is Mascherano. Also, did Crema get a girlfriend or something? Crema was the go today.
How do I say it? I say Mascherano.
No, you say Mashura. You say Mashurano. You've always done that. I never try to correct you, but you say Mashurano. Maschu. You say Maschu.
But I know it's Mascherano. Okay.
But you say Maschu.
Maybe I do it without realizing it.
You do. I think so. You were saying about the beginning of the game.
Yeah. I think it was obvious the game plan. I think Miami had a couple chances there, but I like the game plan. I like that the way they were using Kremaki. Once I saw the game was unfolding, I understood what Mascherano was doing, and I thought Kremaki out wide and Allende out wide were perfect. Now Allende didn't have the cleanest of games. I thought that Allende was just Allende can make those runs, but Allende with the ball at his feet, as far as creating, I don't think that he's that guy. Like he'll make the run and he'll get the ball in a dangerous spot, but when you have the ball at his feet and he has half the pitch to go, he's not. I haven't seen him show that he can do anything with that, create for somebody else or himself.
I don't think he's as creative. Like for example, Moonman's saying why Taylor not playing? Why? Allende is a better finisher. Now, Taylor can be able to create something from that far of a distance, and he can handle the ball. Yes, he can handle the ball well enough on himself to carry it forward, right? Allende is more of like I'm going to hit this ahead of you, and I'm going to beat you to it by bodying you as well. But at the same time, like he's not as creative. So he does need a little bit of I don't know, like an assist or an advance in terms of like being put in the spot instead of finding the spot on his own.
Look, he'll break that back line. He'll do those line breaking runs, and Messi or Suarez will catch him with one of those balls in behind, and it works out great for him. It's just whenever he has the ball in space against the defender, I haven't seen him look as dangerous in those instances. I think he looks the most dangerous when he is making that run in behind the defense and he just has a one touch and take the shot type of thing to go. So he just didn't look as effective today.
I mean, he's a good finisher. He's a dangerous player. Don't get me wrong. It's just, look, I thought the reason that Ben Krem is getting, I guess, seen with a lot more credit, I'll tell you, he was managing his body better around defenders. He was able to, if he can't be able to handle the ball in terms of his skill set, he was using his body a lot better than he was earlier in other games. And he wasn't catching himself into these like long distance running battles with other players, especially that are pacier than him.
Inside the first 20, 22 minutes or so, I remember there was a ball with Jordi Alba. Yeah, because look, we only had two vertical threats. It was Allende and Kremaki. That was it. And Jordi Alba got a beautiful ball ahead to Allende, and Allende went ahead, and I think he crossed it over, and Messi caught up into the box. And then Allende crossed it, and I don't think that Messi was expecting it to get past those two defenders.
And it got past everybody.
And he got past it, and then he took a bad touch because he wasn't expecting it to get there, I guess. And then when he was finally ready to take the shot, it got blocked by a defender. I think that was the first really good chance we had. But as far as those vertical passes, that's all it was in the first half. It was just vertical passes, and I love that game plan because it seems to be the only thing that can easily break down Columbus, because Columbus is such a good team. And they also had a chance. They had a chance where Gazdag, I'm not sure how he got free, but there was a beautiful through ball that got right into Gazdag's foot, and it was just him and Ustari. He tried to, like, I don't know if it was trying to go upper 90 or chip it over the keeper, but it went over the crossbar. So it was a really entertaining game overall. Both teams had a lot of chances in the first half, but Miami was the first one to strike blood.
And look, the comments side, look, for as bad as people were thinking Allende played, he was the main one, if not the only one, making runs in behind. You guys like all your analytical talk? This is as analytical as you can get. Run behinds.
Well, that's his superpower. Like he is the one that's gonna make those, as they say, like you like to say, Chris, those that talk. He's the one that's gonna make those line breaking runs, right?
Yes.
He's the one that's gonna be there and to receive that through ball when he makes that run, and he's that only vertical threat today, and Kramaki, but those were the two vertical threats today. But in the 30th minute, I believe it was, we got the ball, and Suarez, I believe, was the one that gave that lead pass to Chelo. So for everybody that's saying that Suarez is invisible, Suarez was in the midfield. Got
the hockey assist.
And he had a beautiful lead pass to Chelo. And Chelo with an even more beautiful one-time touch cross where Kremaki did his best Superman impression and went ahead and finished that. And when Kremaki landed, I don't think he realized that he's
diving. No, I don't think so. There's no way.
I think he held his head, and I think he's like, oh, give me the foul. And then next thing you know, he looks and the ball's in the back of the net.
Well, I think that the fact that Luis Suarez came back to sort of help create that play shows the importance of Luis Suarez, right? Like, we knew getting him that he was, I don't want to say more of a facilitator, but that's one other positive thing you're getting from him, not just this, like, you know, one-trick pony striker guy.
Well, and he's forced to play all the way back there, though, because Columbus plays such a high line that if he's going to stay on side for a long ball, he has to drop back also. So, I mean, it's not like he was going back there and helping defensively necessarily, but I think that Suarez had that beautiful pass, and he put himself in a position once or twice where he could have finished, but he just didn't receive the ball. I think it was an Allende down the right side where he could have crossed it, and he had Suarez and Messi in the area. And I forgot, I don't know if he turned it over. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But they were both staring him down, and I think they might have said a thing or two to him, because when you have Suarez and Messi in the area and you don't get the ball to him, I mean, that's going to stand out. So, again, not the best of games, but beautiful goal by Cremita, Robin Van Crema. Is this what I was going to call him?
And I'll tell you this much. There was another play throughout the game where Luis Suarez was acting like he was going to volley the ball. Like, super unselfish play of Luis Suarez. Like, he could have taken that and batted that in, even if there was a defender or two in front of him. But he saw that the better opportunity was to just let the ball fall down and pass it over back to Messi. This is where he tried his sort of shot later on in the game, and he missed it. So Suarez didn't play awful. It's just he wasn't. Listen, again, we keep mentioning that Suarez can't create and score. Things have to be helped through to be able to put him in the right position.
And this isn't a game for Suarez. When we're just playing the long ball,
Yeah,
like he's not going to be on the receiving end of those.
he's not making line breaking plays,
So
line breaking runs. Get out of here.
so this wasn't the game for Suarez. Unfortunately, they started
No.
him anyway, but he was okay.
So, I mean, I guess that wraps up the first half. No, Danny? I mean, is there anything else that sort of stood out? First half to me, Ben Krem played great. So far, everybody had played pretty fantastic in the first half. The only person that I guess I would say kind of, shook me a little bit was just Lujan. Other than that,
No, I thought everybody had a decent first half. Let me look real quick at the first half stats. First half stats, we had 6 shots, 1 on target, which was the goal. Columbus had 4 shots. The possession was a lot closer than in the first half because there were moments where Miami would win the ball in the midfield and they wouldn't rush it, right? Because they weren't going to turn the ball over either. So they only went for the long ball when they were deep in their own territory.
is this true?
What?
Mike V saying Suarez had 10 turnovers?
I don't think so. He had only
No
35
way.
touches.
No way.
He only had 35 touches. But yeah.
Well, how'd you feel after the half?
I felt like if we kept going the way we were going, that we would win and we might score 2 or 3. Like another 1 or 2. I honestly thought that we might put 2 or 3 up, and I was expected them to score 1.
Brian Fink. Shout out to Fink, last name. Yes, look it up.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Is Fink not like a top 10 villainous last name in a movie? Fink. Like if you have the last name Fink in a movie, you're probably like a bad guy, right?
When I think Fink, for some reason, I think American Pie, but I don't know if that's accurate or not. But I think American Pie.
Is that Fink? No, I think you're thinking of some other name. I think the name's there, but no.
Not Messi. Suarez completed 23 of his 30 passes.
Wow. Okay. But look, Soccer Daddy's saying 35 touches, 10 turnovers.
Where do you guys see 10 turnovers?
I mean, what website are you guys hacking into?
All right. Well, so how are you feeling at halftime? How was the chat feeling at halftime? At halftime, Jesus.
At halftime, I was kind of shook because I don't want to get Nancy'd. Like, because Nancy is like this all-seeing soccer football guru guy where like everybody thinks that he's always cooking something up. So I thought that it was a wrap for us if we really mess this up. Let's bring in the Super Slam because I have no idea what this is talking about, but it sounds juicy. Super Slam by Asif Mahmood. I'm pissed you threw me off Discord. I'm not gonna always sing from the same hymn sheet, but that's no reason to throw me out. People need to know in life everyone has their own opinion. I'd appreciate if someone can get me back on Discord. Asif,
I wasn't the one that threw you out. I don't think Chris was either.
We'll talk it up. We'll talk it up and we'll figure it out, Asif.
But
don't worry about it. I think I remember kind of what happened, but we'll link up. We'll get to the round table and we'll get everything settled.
All right. So Amanda saying that she felt good at half. Kirak Kane felt good. Let's see what else.
So some people felt nervous, and some people felt like, "Oh, okay, it's okay." I mean, what are we doing? I don't understand. I mean, Kirak Kane is saying, "I thought we were going to lose." So there were some people that were feeling bad about it. Some people were kind of nervous, but then Amanda saying, "I felt good at half." Listen, against this team, Columbus, it's tough to feel good because at any given moment they can be able to turn it around. I mean, Rick A saying I thought it was a solid half.
So did I. I thought we played our game plan to almost perfection.
Shout out to Tony. Think before
we had a couple opportunities, and and they didn't score 1-0. I was happy with it. I thought the game might end up 2-0, 2-1. I really thought that everything went well in the first half, and I expected a lot in the second half. Now, coming out in the second half, I was very surprised at the game plan in the second half.
Yeah.
We basically parked the bus. We just defended the whole second half. And that really surprised me because you have Russell Rowe, which has been very good so far this year. You have Diego Rossi, which up until now is in MVP talks because he's been playing pretty well. And then you have Daniel Gazdag, which I think we're lucky that he hasn't gotten any chemistry yet with everybody. But those top three with Farsi on the right and Arvston on the left, like that's a decent attack. I'm surprised that we would just be like, all right, let's just defend because we're just going to keep them out of goal, because that attack is similar to ours. If you let them just be on in your final third, there's a chance that they'll get one in, and they should have.
Yes.
A couple times. So I was very, very surprised that was the game plan.
You know, we're going to talk a little bit about this, Bruni. We're going to talk a little bit about the Drake thing. So the second half started, and we ended up making a substitution. I don't want to say early, but our first substitution was Luis Suarez for Segovia. I mean, before that substitution, our offense was sort of non-existent. Like, we weren't attacking. It was just pure defense at that point.
Well, I mean, even after that, dude, we didn't.
Yes.
We had one shot the whole second half, and I believe it was a shot that we took from our own half. Like, we weren't attacking. Like, it was crazy to me, the game plan.
Well, we had our backs against the wall the whole second half. And then not only that, but then you take out Luis Suarez and you put in Segovia. Luis Suarez clearly looked upset, clearly was fuming for coming off. I imagine that the frustration is starting to set in that he hasn't gotten his goal.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much that he was getting taken off. I think it was that he wasn't able to
put the ball on the
goal,
back of the
like
net.
you said, while he's been on there.
Yeah, it must be frustrating for a person like him, for a striker, just not to be able to score like an open play. It's got to be frustrating. And this is where Soccer Daddy's question comes in. Did Obando play?
He did not.
Obando did not play. Obando was on the bench, but Obando was not subbed in for Suarez. Obando was still on the bench, and Segovia came in.
All right, so how do you feel about that? Let's go sub by sub. How did you feel about that sub?
So I feel like that substitution was made essentially to move Messi up, put Segovia in his spot. Mm-hmm. Essentially, that's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, we're playing with 2 forwards, and then we're defending with 8.
Yes, because I even saw Ben Krem up there as like a little forwardish, or as a, what is it, like a center fielder or
center forward?
Center forward. Yes,
we were defending with 8, 9 at times, and that was the game plan for the second half. So we left Messi up top as basically the lone forward, and we had Segovia out there that he's not the best pace in the world, but he has enough pace, at least more than Suarez, where he can go ahead, get the ball up there. He has the technique and the footwork where he can go ahead and get by a defender or two if the opportunities presents itself on a counterattack. Yeah. And I think that was the main reason he was out there. And I don't think you could throw Obando out there in that type of situation in this type of game. I think that's why we didn't see Obando. I think we might see Obando like next week against Dallas.
I did see this though. I am Jekka saying y'all saw Messi telling Crema like slow down when he interfered with that ball Messi almost got. I did see that.
Well, that was one play in the second half where Messi had a goal. Shelty's dumbass went out of the box and he was completely out of the picture. And Messi had a goal, and for some reason, Kremaki ran up to it and cleared it. I got the picture.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, yes. It was so dumb.
Look at Shelty. It was crazy. Look at where Shelty is. Messi is waiting for the ball to come down so he can.
And Ben Krem tries to head it.
He did head it. Look at this image. Imagine the ball falling to Messi's feet. You don't think that he figures out a way to get the ball at the back of the net with those 2 defenders there?
Yes.
Absolutely. And then for some reason, Kremaki goes ahead and he heads it to one of the center backs.
It was so awful. He thought that header was going to reach the goal.
I think that was in the first half, though.
Was it?
In the first, yeah, that was in the first half.
Oh yeah, they were going to the right in the first half. Yes, that was in the first half. I don't know, Danny. I mean, after that, I guess if we're going to go do substitution, since we were just playing defense throughout the first half, we'll go through the substitutions. We got Thomas Aviles comes in for Weigand. We got Maxi Falcon comes in for Yannick Bright. And then we got Fafa comes in for Allende. And that was all in the 77th minute. So essentially, Fafa goes up to play wing. Falcon basically plays center back in place of Lujan, because Lujan goes to right back. And it's basically Thomas Aviles going in for Yannick Bright.
So this is where you didn't like the Thomas Aviles sub.
So the reason I didn't like the Thomas Aviles sub, and I'm not saying that there's a better option in terms of like a center defensive midfield minded player, but I don't know if you noticed, but during the game after he got subbed on, for like the first 5 minutes and change, it looked like there was a bad communication in the back line. Like there were a lot of times where I did see where Columbus Crew were finding those little spots in the middle in between Noah Allen and Falcon.
Diego Rossi had a clear chance.
Yes.
It should have been in the back of the net. And he somehow flew it over the crossbar. That should have been a goal.
Yes. But like I said, I mean, I'm not telling you that Thomas Aviles can't be a center defensive midfielder, right? But like there was a miscommunication back there. Like there was times where I would see Aviles kind of look back. He'd want to go up, but then he's like, I kind of want to be in the danger zone here. Like he was dying for a yellow card himself.
Yeah, but I thought that Toto came in to be a deep lying center defensive midfielder, which is basically a third center back.
Yes.
Right. So he had the freedom to kind of to come out a little bit, but ultimately he was going to be almost like a third center back. I didn't mind that at all. I thought that he I didn't think he played poorly. I don't think he had. Did he make any mistakes that come to your mind? I didn't think he made any mistakes.
He had no, he didn't have any mistakes. I mean, look, he had a couple close calls where if the ref would have been like how she reffed against that San Diego game last game, he probably would have gotten a yellow card. So he's kind of got lucky.
Nick Smith's here with an interesting comment that I hadn't noticed. 7 clean sheets last year, already 6 this year. Ustari is my daddy. Now, Nick Smith, I think that is great.
Our defense is your daddy.
Yeah, well, look back. Drake had no chance at getting clean sheets last year because we were just constantly getting beat on the counter. There were plenty of one-on-one opportunities that he either gave up or he stopped. But yes, the defense is looking much better.
I just want to mention something for what he just put.
For those of you that are WrestleMania has begun, just in case anybody was wondering. I know some people like wrestling.
And for those of you that are also wondering, the Knicks and Pistons are tied in the second quarter.
Nobody gives a crap.
I think everybody's wondering. So just so you can understand, Nick, our worst center back came into the game in the last couple minutes of this game while we had Sergei Kristoff starting for us last season. Kezzy, I can't serve you right now. When they serve her ice cream. So there's that.
Well, I didn't think that Toto Aviles was a bad substitution. I could see where they were going with that. But Columbus did have a few opportunities. The Diego Rossi one was there. There's the Daniel Gazdag. He had, I think, 2.
Oh, my God.
The most dangerous one was where was it Farsi that had a low cross in? I think it was Farsi. And then for some reason, Gazdag, I was trying to see who was the defender that kind of just left Gazdag just unmarked. I couldn't tell who it was, but he should have. He wasn't able to get his left foot on it. It went right past his foot. I thought it was in. Everybody on the bench thought it was in. It was Columbus. Columbus should have had the tie at some point. The way things are going, they should have tied the game at some point.
It could have been either Falcone. I mean, look, you can also put some things to Noah Allen. I feel kind of bad for Noah Allen or whoever plays the left center back position because Jordi Alba, I think the reason it works so well with Noah Allen is because since he's played left back, he kind of knows how, the left back has to move up. It's so hard to play defense from that position because Jordi Alba might not make it back on defense, or he might not be at that position where you think he's going to be. So,
Yannick Bright, another good game, I thought.
Yes,
winning
he
the
played
ball,
phenomenal.
intercepted the ball. I thought he had another great game. But Ustari, I mean, he didn't have any spectacular saves, but I think the defense overall held on, even though we still gave up those opportunities. It's a clean sheet in the end. And the last substitution was David Martinez finally seeing the pitch after like 37 years. Any more thoughts on the game?
Yes, Allen is left-footed, soccer daddy. Like you said, David Martinez coming in for Ben Krem leaving with a goal, probably the best game that he's had. And it's before the goal happened. To me, again, we're getting better on the Ben Krem scale. Ben Krem is improving. He's starting to get more comfort. So even before the goal, I'd say that this would have been his best game of the season.
Yeah, but if we don't play that type of game, if we don't play the long ball and the counters, I don't know if he fits as well.
Look, I think putting him in that position, you're going to get a really good or decent outputting, or you're going to get an awful one. Like him at the wing, I don't like it.
That's all we have available for him. What else?
I know, but it's weird. And then on top of that, the right wing, like thankfully they switched it around. But if you're gonna put him at the right wing, don't kill Tadeo Allende either. At least put him on the left wing and let Tadeo Allende feel more comfort on the right.
Right.
What Ace is saying, play Ben Krem as a 9. I mean, he did jump up after Luis Suarez got off the pitch.
Obando has to eventually get some more playing time.
Yeah. So,
any standouts? I mean,
we ended up winning. Standouts, Ben Krem. Ben Krem, I'll go with Ben Krem as the lone standout to me. I don't want to say man of the match, but I'll go with Ben Krem as the standout.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bright. I thought Bright had a good game. I thought Weigand played like Weigand does. Right, he's not out of this world, but he's a really good starter. So I'm gonna go Cello. Even though I still think Frey should be the starter. Ustari had a decent game, even though he had that one crazy save where Max Arfson could have scored over him, and then he got fingertips and then kind of just threw it over. So that was a great stop by Ustari because that would have been a goal also. So Ustari stand out also. So I think those are my standouts: Ustari, Cello, and Bright.
Well, shout out to AC for the super slam out here in these streets. Bang! Bang! Says Vancouver will end us in the CCC first leg if we repeat today.
No, we're not going to play that game plan against Vancouver.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing it.
Now, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Yannick Bright stand up for Mr. Krabs, Cello 2, Amanda. Yeah,
a lot of shot, a lot of love.
Lujan. I'm not sold on Lujan either, even though he had a decent game. I still think Toto should be playing over him.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Que pena. Any Que pena awards for you this game?
So the Campana award, it's tough because, like, do you feel like anybody here played awfully bad? Because
Allende.
Okay, so that's who you're giving your Campana award.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the name is harsh because I don't think that he played horrible. But if I have to pick
Yes,
one
it
person,
is.
I'm gonna go Allende. Lujan, I see some people putting Lujan. I didn't think
I
Lujan
was
had that
gonna
bad of a game. I
I
mean,
was
he
gonna
had
go with
some
Lujan.
rough fouls where we're like, oh man, like hey, take it easy there, buddy. So yeah, I guess in that aspect, but I'd say Allende.
I'm gonna go with
Suarez,
Lujan. No, I can't do Suarez. I can't do
no,
Suarez.
I can't do Suarez. It's Mascherano's fault for playing him this game. This isn't a game for Suarez if this is the game plan. If this is the game plan,
Yeah.
play the long ball and the counter.
Put on Obando.
Obando slow also,
Or put Alfonso.
or Fafa,
Or Fafa.
or like I don't know. This wasn't the game for Suarez. I don't blame Suarez for this one because he was doomed from the start once we heard the game plan.
Que pena is the entire Columbus front line.
For
According to
everybody that
Mike
tells
D.
me that Cucho didn't make a difference, Cucho would have put some of those away.
Oh my goodness, he would have blasted those things past the net. And I'll say my man of the match.
No, before you give it to the man of the match,
Uh-huh.
what do you think about Messi today?
So look, Messi tried to create. He was very good in finding open spaces. He still just hasn't been able to connect with Luis Suarez.
He almost had a repeat of the same goal he had against Columbus last year.
Yes.
Where he brought it in down with his chest, brought it down. I thought that he might get the same thing.
A lot of people are like basically saying that Messi's injured. He's just not the same. I don't know if he's injured. I don't think he's injured. Do I think that he's maybe uncomfortable because of a past injury? Maybe. But I don't think that he's injured. I think that Messi played fairly well. We didn't get a real goal input in terms of a goal or an assist, right? I mean, he creates space. He is Shaq in that sense. We have to kind of be aware of his presence.
Well, Messi was completely he was no part of that second half.
Yeah.
He had no involvement in the second half.
No, second half is nothing other than that blast that he tried to get over Schulte, right? Where he tried to just blast it right over him and it didn't.
Which was the only shot in the second half.
And look, Marasovic is asking artificial grass. Is it turf? I don't remember.
No.
It was regular grass.
Yeah, it was grass.
Yeah.
Today was grass.
And look, get it out. I'm saying, I don't know. I can't tell you whether he played phenomenal or not. Like Messi played well. He played fairly well, and he was able to create spaces for other people. He was able to get it out to Jordi Alba and help build plays up. But you know, Messi was good. He wasn't as great.
If Messi can't play, which I really hope isn't true, because I hear this first from the chat and not from anywhere else. But if it's true that Messi's injured, that's no excuse to not beat Vancouver. Vancouver's been doing what Vancouver's been doing without their best player all year, which is Galt. We should still be able to beat them.
With this team?
Yeah.
With this team and without Messi.
So, yes, we should still be able to beat them. But we'll see.
Yeah. What'd you feel about Messi?
He wasn't involved in the second half. And in the first half, he is the offense. I felt like he would have had that goal that Benjamin Kramaki for some reason headed away. Yeah. And then he did have one chance where he kind of played it to his left. Dennis, you're crazy. And he could have laid it off to Luis Suarez. He didn't. He apologized to him. But, you know, Messi was Messi in the first half. Messi was not involved in the second half.
All right.
Miami without Messi. You know, Soccer Daddy, it's funny because I remember people saying this last year. And somehow they ended up going undefeated without him. Or not undefeated. I think they lost once. So I get it. But we're not playing against Monterrey or Club America. We're playing against Vancouver. We're all right.
Let's calm down, guys.
Dennis, you've watched all their games. Have you watched them draw with everybody? Did you watch them lose to Chicago 3-1? Come on, Dennis. I get it. Vancouver's okay, but no reason to be scared either. I'm not underestimating anything.
Listen, everybody
I'm not underestimating. But you guys are saying that we're cooked? Come on.
Listen,
we're not
Vancouver's
cooked.
a good team, Danny. Vancouver's a good team.
And you know who else was a good team? Today, Columbus. That was supposed to be a good team also. You know who else is supposedly good? Charlotte. And guess what? We beat them. And you know who else? Chicago. They didn't beat us either. Like, come on. Have we lost any game outside of the LAFC game? We haven't lost. Don't.
My name is Jiv. It says, who is the second in the West? Austin. Yeah, they beat them 5-1. They did score 5 goals. Well, one person scored 4 goals. Danny.
You know what? We shut out Chicago at home. Chicago put 3 on Vancouver's head and beat Vancouver 3-1. If you want to play that game, relax. No,
Skrilla, chill.
Let me.
They didn't beat.
They didn't
two
beat
Mexico teams.
2 Mexican teams. They drew with 2 Mexican teams, and they took advantage of an away goal, which is really stupid. So that's what happened. So yes, we need an away goal. Absolutely, that's what we need.
Yeah, and World War I goes trying to calm everybody down. We're undefeated, people. Let's go. Come
I'm
on.
saying. Well, let's let it play out. We talking about this plenty throughout the week.
Man of the match, other than Messi. Let's move on. We're going to talk about Vancouver this coming week. Okay, guys? Man of the match, other than Messi, I'm going to give it to Wagon.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to Wagon. Very impressive on defense, very aggressive, was able to push up when asked for, was the key assist in the goal. So Wagon, look, for as mid as everybody says he is, he midded his way into a good game today. Man of the match other than Messi, Chalo.
I'm going to say Yannick Bright. Yannick Bright.
Very good.
Is the anchor on defense. He does a little bit of everything. And Ustari, I'll take Ustari also. But yes, Ben Krem for sure with that goal. That was a beautiful reaction. That was a reactionary, right? Like he's not thinking I'm going to run down here and
he's just diving.
He just saw the ball coming and he jumped and it worked out. But I'd go Bright.
Okay, all right. Second, Bright or Ustadi. So, look, I think we're along the same lines here, guys. Who
do you think was the lowest graded player?
Oof. And out of the starters?
Yeah.
I would say Allende.
Yes, 6.4.
Yes.
Second lowest was Suarez. Third lowest was Noah Allen. Who do you think was the highest?
Well, I mean, Ben Krem because he got the goal.
Now there's a tie for 2, and surprisingly, it's not the goal scorer.
So it's not. So one of them I would say would be Wagon.
Nope.
Ooh, Alba.
Nope.
What? So I mean, Messi would be one of them. No.
Nope.
Oh my goodness! Like what? We're left with Bright and Busquets.
Bright and Ustari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both got an 8.2. So
nice. Okay.
Well, shout out to Mascherano. This was my question mark. For all his bad decisions and how poorly he coached in everybody's opinion. One thing that he always did is that he always showed up against what's supposed to be the best coach in the league, Nancy. And I wanted to see what Mascherano did. He also showed up. I wasn't a fan of his game plan in the second half.
Yeah,
really wasn't, because we should have given up that lead, and but he got the win. So good job, Mascherano. Any final thoughts there, Chris?
I'm happy to walk away from Ohio with a win, and it's off to cold Vancouver now. So it's gonna be a hell of a week, my friend. I mean, everybody is shook in their boots for some Vancouver action, Danny. It'll be a big game. It's a big game.
I'm not underestimating them, but come on,
guys. Are we good or cooked? Good or cooked? Because I feel like there's gonna be a lot more people that are gonna say cooked.
And while you guys are answering,
Knicks are up by half, by 2 points. Bitch.
Nobody cares.
I do.
They're gonna lose the series.
No, they're not going to lose the series. Come on.
All right. We will be back on Monday with Herons and Garces at 10. And Thomas and Danny might be our karma. We'll be back on Monday for Herons and Garces at 10. And we'll be doing a preview show with the third sub from Vancouver at some point this week also. So it should be a fun week. You guys can call me a jinx all you want, and then I'll smile when we win anyway. So there you go. And that dude abides. Shout out to you for
for
Oh
saying
man, yeah. Jay
Miami.
Uso just won the title. Jay Uso just won, and I lost $15 to Tommy one time because I told him that Jay Uso wouldn't win. So look at that.
There's your $15 there, my friend.
Yep. All right, and I think that is all. If you are listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all the good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching on the video. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. And as always, for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you hanging out with us for the last hour. And while we get copyrighted here, while I put up some WrestleMania highlights. For the entire best part of the show, and we'll be back on Monday to talk a little more of this, a little more Vancouver. It should be an interesting week. So and then hopefully the Knicks lose. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll be back on Monday. So until the next one, have a good one.
Oh, the power bomb.